All right, this is a disclaimer. Due to the current situation of Russia, our co-host requests us to delete some of the original recording, but overall, the content is still pretty valid. Hope you like it. Check it out.
After the third glass, I was like, okay, I need to go home. Time is up. And she was like, okay, wanna come to my place? And I was like, really? You're really?
Really? Yeah. Welcome back to 2 Cents from Millennial. We're millennials who are either working or studying abroad, looking to find out the business impact from a foreigner's perspective. Join us as we invited entrepreneurs, content creators, and professionals around the world to share their insight on the matter. I'm your host today, Jarvis, currently living and studying in Germany, Munich. We have our co-host today, Valeria. She was a server's supplier manager and in Russia, based in Moscow. So welcome to our podcast, and how are you doing?
Thank you. I'm fine. Everything is fine, despite the fact that everything is not fine in the world. But personally, I'm fine. Thank you.
I remember the first time where we met. I think it was somewhere like 2015. And you were in Taiwan, and I came across you on the street, and they say, hey, can I borrow? I think it was like I was asking for a light or something.
Yeah, I was smoking.
Yeah, you were smoking. We sort of just become friends since then. And until now, you have been living in China for
1 year and a half.
1 year and a half. And now you're back to Russia. And now it's like the weirdest time to be that place, right? How do you feel about it?
It's just like unbelievable, you know? Sometimes I just wake up and I feel like, is it really happening, or it's just bad dream or something? Because, you know, when COVID started, you just felt like, okay, this is the worst thing that can ever happen.
Right.
To humans, you just feel like nothing can surprise you anymore.
This is like the worst timing, right? Like when everything started back to normal and then another shit just happened. But
yeah,
what is the life like right now in Russia? Everything is sanctioned from every Western country. Is there any things that you find not normal compared to what it was?
Yeah, sure. Like there are a lot of things that have changed. For example, you know, the weird fact is like all these sanctions are done against our government, but actually they influence like real people, normal people who don't have any connections with them. So prices increased on many products.
Except the vodka and gas, I think. Is vodka also increased? Okay.
I'm not sure about that one, but a lot of things just increased, and you're just like, okay, but my salary hasn't. So,
did you have like a lot of people who are lined up in the bank trying to get their money out?
Oh yeah, sure. We have a restriction that you can't really do some kind of operations using dollars. So when everything started, lots of people just went out to the ATMs to take their money, take their dollars, and have the cash.
So they have the dollars in cash.
Yeah.
But where are they going to spend it?
Nowhere. It's just, I don't think that I'm able to explain it, but I will try. Here is the practice, like in one European country. I don't really remember which one. I think it was Greece or something like that. So when that economical shit happened, like something went wrong, the government just took the money from bank accounts of rich people, just like that.
Right. What?
So
okay.
I'll just find this material and I'll send you. I think that people are just afraid of something like that, you know, because it's kind of possible, to be honest.
Government could literally just say, hey, I need some money, give me your money.
I think everything is just possible in this world. People were afraid of such thing to happen, but I don't really think that it's happening.
Right. The psychological effect from the people.
Yeah. So it's the first thing. Second thing is just what we really have now, and we can feel it. For example, I personally can feel it that a lot of people just started hating Russians.
Right.
And we are the country which is not really loved by other countries, like in general.
Right. Yeah. Because the history somehow, right?
Because the history, because like all this USSR stuff, and people feel that they finally have this reason
to hate on people, right? Look, this is sick to watch. Even some of my Russian friends here in Germany, They are also saying the same stuff, but I guess at the moment they prefer to be quieter. But they are telling the people, say, you shouldn't hate Russian. You should have like point the fingers to who actually started instead of hate the entire nation's people, because always people are good and bad, and some people doesn't support the entire stuff as well.
Like it's always like that. One thing is when people like, oh, I hate Russians, but they just hate and they just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Another thing is to read in the comments on some kind of like Instagram. So you just look at the picture of your favorite singer and go to the comments and read in the comments like, you all Russians must die and your kids must die and we will kill all of them. And you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, I never want your kid to be dead. So, yeah, I'm not going to talk about Ukrainian people because I'm not there. I cannot say anything.
Right.
And, you know,
they cannot say that, or otherwise they probably will get in trouble. You have the same experiences when you were in China, right?
Exactly.
So you're already familiar with like how everything's supposed to be.
Yeah. There was one thing in China, and when I was there, I felt like, can it really happen like that? But now I feel that it's terrible. So as far as I know from the history, there was a big bad date in Chinese history.
Yeah,
something
6-4.
connected to
Tiananmen Square.
Tiananmen Square, like, you know, but the thing is that
you're gonna get canceled by the Russian government and Chinese government. All right, podcast listener, don't be too aggressive. We are talking from an objective point of view. We're not talking shit. All right, sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, I completely agree. But like, there was a surprise for me because people just didn't speak about it. And when you try to use Chinese search engine,
you cannot find shit.
You cannot. You just cannot. That's kind of weird, like how we can see that the history is being changed right now. And the things that we learned like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, people now think in a different way because it's easy to control our minds.
I would say it's easy to control somebody's mind if they don't have the critical thinking, right? Because most of the time when you are being fed with a piece of information, first of all, you don't just trust whatever it says and starting to put your comment under it. First, you should always fact check, right? You should always see, okay, where does it come from? Why he says something like this and that? And what's the reason behind that? And that's the reason we want to build up a logic from where that statement has been made. But unfortunately, you know, the internet or the social media in general, like kind of make the entire commenting and, you know, giving feedback, the entire process is too easy. People are literally just shitting on each other, just like the example you were talking about. People are just like saying, I hate this and that, or whatever stuff. And that just create a lot of the tensions without even know the other person on the other side of the screen, right? Or even on the internet.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. But the thing is that the majority of people just doesn't have this critical thinking,
or they just they are not wired in that way. Probably they don't have enough time and resources to do this and that. They just believe it, whoever they think is trustworthy.
I just think that lots of people just don't even think that they need to do this research. And also, like, it's not only about internet. As far as I know, like some kind of like textbooks which are used in schools.
A lot of bias,
unfortunately.
But when you were in China, you also noticed the censorship. Does it affect you when you were living in China?
Like, for me, it was like only using Instagram is banned, using Google is banned, using YouTube is banned.
I know, right? Yeah. Everything's banned. So you can VPN every time, every day.
Thanks God, VPN there, yeah, but you get used to it. And to be honest, I think that you can live without these things. It's fine. And I feel that it's nice that Chinese people made their own YouTube. Yeah, they have Youku instead of YouTube. They have Baidu instead of Google. They have like, what else? Instagram. But I think they use WeChat like
WhatsApp.
Or WhatsApp is also that, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Like, it's not a big deal, to be honest. In all other things, like, there was only one situation which I like about Tiananmen, but
You cannot talk shit about the communists on the internet or something because it's also get censored. Like, for example, when
yeah,
Hong Kong was having the kind of like, what is that called? Protest. And they literally just censor all the entire Hong Kong information, even though,
yeah.
remember that? I think it was like
Yeah.
2019, somewhere there.
2019, I
Yeah.
was in China. Yeah.
Yeah. So they are saying, these people are terrorists or some bullshit, right? And they're just students.
But it's just like I know about this thing in Hong Kong only just because I have an access to another news sources. And if I were like a Chinese person without knowing about anything else, I would feel quite good. Like, okay, I just don't know about it. You don't know about something, you feel happy.
Being innocent and without critical thinking, sometimes, you have less stress.
Exactly. Like,
Don't think about too much, just live your own life, right? And I think that's why, especially in Russia and in China, they mostly want their people just, don't overthink, just follow the rules and,
yeah, but
don't talk shit.
China is a very big country. Russia is also a very big country.
Right.
It's hard to control so many people.
They shouldn't control at the first point, but the thing is they want to control. The intention is there.
Yeah, it's not a thing. So that's why.
But we were in Taiwan where we met, right? Do you find any difference? Or probably it's too short for you to notice like the lifestyle and the peoples and, all kinds of aspect, let's say.
Like, people are totally different. Because I actually think that people who live in southern countries, like who have lots of light, sun, they're more open.
Okay.
They're more happy. It's fine when you just go around Taiwan somewhere, like you want to Chifan.
Yeah. You want to add something? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can also say Mandarin or Chinese.
It just a bit.
Yeah. It's fine.
And you just go and smile, and people just smile you back, and everything is fine. Like, here in Russia, I don't know about Moscow. Moscow is different. Moscow is not Russia, to be honest. Like, it's completely different world. But I am originally from Siberia, and it's cold there, and it's kind of like there is no sun. So when you just in a good mood and you just smile, people just look at you and they
think you're a retard. Yeah.
Like, are you okay?
Yeah.
What happened? But what I want to say is it doesn't mean that people are always grumpy and that's it. No, it's just like we feel that it's weird to show the emotions somewhere in the street.
I feel that difference as well. In Germany, it's the same. They sort of would just greet you normally. They don't ask too much.
Yeah.
But in America, I mean, you also been in America, in state, everybody's just friendly in the beginning, even though it's superficial. But that's a huge difference. So that sort of feeling is very different from culture to cultures. But when you are in China, don't you think they are also friendly or they have like something different?
They are very kind in China. I love Chinese people. And, especially like the older generation, like in their 60s, 70s, they're just like my grandma, for example. Like, I can feel this
kindness.
Yeah, kindness. I can feel this thing because, all this communism, raised in that communism, they have the same values. So,
okay, they have the same values. Right.
I cannot say anything bad, to be honest.
Of course. or otherwise we probably get canceled.
No, that's not what I wanted to say. I mean, like, I can't say I feel,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, probably because you're a foreigner, right? Like, if you're Taiwanese people in that situation,
sure.
It will be like,
sure.
Yeah, I have different point of view about that topic. But do you think the tension, you probably already follow up the tensions between Taiwan and China. Well, do you think, especially right now, the operation, what's your 2 cents in general?
It's always about people. I know that it's not really like that in our world, unfortunately, but I think that if people want to be a part of China, so let them be. If people don't want to be a part of China, so let them be.
Exactly.
Like, that's what I
easy, right?
feel. I know it doesn't happen like that, But
Of course.
it would be nice. It would be nice, if it happened like that.
Yeah. And then we are probably living the, what is that called? Alice Wonderland, right? You just make a wish and then everything just comes
Yeah.
through. Well, but what about the current challenges, opportunities? Like, is it still finding the job pretty challenging right now in Russia, or are you seeking to leave the country or something?
Here is the thing, because of sanctions, like lots of foreign companies just stopped working, and thousands of people just lost their working spaces, and it's super bad. Like, I feel really bad for them. And thanks God, like, I work in a Russian company, so for now it's okay, it's fine. Like, we don't really have any problems like that. We don't like fire people and that's it. But that's what happened in lots of companies, and it just like, I feel that we need some time to build new companies. Like, government actually is doing something like that. They want to find more work and create more working places for people. But nevertheless, what I noticed is that lots of people just try to get out of the country and live somewhere else.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, it's not only Ukrainian are fleeing, there's also some Russians are fleeing. I read the news. Some people are thinking, this is super fucked up, I'm gonna leave. Because if you're stuck in there, you're pretty much disconnected, let's say.
Oh, we care what will happen in future, with our kids. Like, which country will it be like in 10 years, in 20 years? No one knows.
Globalization has been sort of just stopped, right? I think we are just pretty much the same age. When we grow up with the future, it's going to be globalization. Everything's going to be well connected. Everything's going to be, efficient.
Yeah, I just still hope for the best. As for me, I have this experience of living in different countries, both in east side and in west side of the world. So I don't really want to get out of my country. I want to do something here. I want my country to be improved and to be made like for people.
For a better place. Yeah, exactly.
And like, who can do it if not the citizens? I know it's hard. Like, in my country, it's hard.
100% agree. Like, when there is always problem, and a lot of people will try to make the problem to other people's problem, but at the end of the day, the problem have to be solved by yourself, whether it's nationally or individually, right? You can cry about your personal problem all day to other people, but problem's gonna be there. So who's gonna solve that? You have to work on that. And in nation as well, if you're just crying and say, "Hey, I need help," maybe you have to sort it the people inside, or the entire common sense inside the country. Same as in Taiwan, same as in Ukrainian. Everybody has their point of view. They have their 2 cents, but at the end of the day, we got to respect other people's perspective, and we understand that.
Yeah, and at least with your own life,
Right.
It's always like that, I believe, like how to change the society. You need first to change yourself.
Right.
And if everyone will do the same shit, like, the whole society will
the momentum will build up. Yeah. Do you know Jordan Peterson, a really famous Canadian professor about psychology?
No.
Okay. So I think one of his famous quotes is say, if you want to do something to improve your life, start with cleaning up your room. Like, try to organize everything.
I've heard.
To build your discipline. Same as American Marine. Like, their quote is like, make your bed every day before you think you want to change the world. Because if you cannot even change your fucking own bed, you cannot organize or have the discipline, then why the hell you think you are able to change other people's life? So that's my 2 cents.
Because people just like talking.
Right.
Right?
Talking is just so easy.
Talking is easy, and it's an entertainment.
Right.
Here is the thing. We Russians are a meme nation. We have lots of memes, lots of jokes on the internet. Like,
meme is everywhere. It's not only about Russian, though.
Yeah, sure. But I'm just judging from my point of view, because like, I'm connected with some people from other countries, and I see like their attitudes and our attitudes, and I feel that we're kind of like on a different level. Because, when we feel that if everything is shit, you need at least laugh.
Okay,
So,
right. So,
and everything is shit right now.
all we can do
Yeah,
is just laugh. We just smoke weed and laugh. Wait, is weed illegal there or is not legal?
illegal.
What the hell?
Illegal.
Okay, nice.
You cannot do that.
Okay. Well, I mean, respect, but sometimes you should give a try, or maybe
Yeah,
not.
but not here.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
but not here. But I mean, you were in China for what, 1.5 years? You were learning Chinese there. What were you doing there? After you leave Taiwan, you went there, right?
Yeah. After I leave Taiwan, I was in Russia, just finished my university studies. And then I went to China to study at university like courses. So only
Mm.
short period of time of Chinese language.
Mhm.
And it was super nice to live in university in China.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then I just went to work, like it was 1 year contract,
Mhm.
but unfortunately I couldn't finish it. So 1 month I finished in Russia because of COVID.
All right. Wait, so what were you working when you were in China? You can speak Chinese normally, right?
I don't know. It's always like I always feel that my Chinese is not enough, not good enough, Even though it's much better than it used to be, I feel that it's not good enough.
I could say you're good enough because if you can handle like daily activities, then that's good enough. Mostly.
Yeah, but you need to handle like deep conversations,
No. We are not gonna have a Chinese podcast here, so we chill. Relax. But that would be actually a really good idea in the future. Just inviting those foreigners who can speak Chinese, and we have a Chinese podcast, right?
Oh my gosh, and you will just have like a whole bunch of this vocal stuff like
And and the editing will be a pain in the butt to do that.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't know. Chinese language is really hard, and even though you know some stuff, yeah,
Right.
but you just feel this barrier, like you cannot speak.
Yeah, it's I mean, it applies to every language. Even like I'm in Germany right now. Sometimes when you try to develop a new skill or language skill, you have to practice it. But sometimes it's just like super uncomfortable to talk the stuff that probably I don't even understand what the hell I'm talking about. I'm expecting other people to understand it. It kind of discourages you to do that. So it's a huge challenge, but it's mostly like our thoughts in our mind instead of like actually people think it's a big issue.
Yeah.
I feel like in Germany, like the younger generation, they normally have like more patience. They're willing to help you out, even though you don't speak properly. They will try to understand you, or even they switch to English. But if you're talking to like older generation, will be like, nah, fuck this. I'm not gonna try to waste my time on you. But that's my personal experience.
And this what my friend told me
Uh-huh.
about your parents. Like she said, my dad knows English, but he
Uh-huh.
would never help you because, like, come on, you're in Germany, use German language.
Wait, so your dad is German?
No, my friend's dad.
Oh, okay, right.
My dad is Russian.
What's the experiences when you are in China and when you try to speak in Chinese? Do you find like the younger generation, they are more open, or pretty much everybody's the same?
Everybody's the same, I think. I didn't notice that they were more open or something. But the funny thing is when you try to talk to the older generation,
Right.
and they start speaking like they don't care, like you're a foreigner, and they just start speaking very fast. And you know that there are a lot of accents in Chinese, so they don't use this like Mandarin Chinese, like 普通话.
Yeah.
Sorry, please, could you please say one more time? And you show that you don't understand them. And they just start speaking louder. That's the thing which I never could understand. Like, why? Why are you yelling at me?
It's not about the volume, it's about the speed.
Yeah, exactly. And about the like 清楚.
Yeah, 清楚, clearness, right?
Clearness, yeah, about the clearness. And you just say, please don't shout. But I haven't noticed such a thing with younger generation. But maybe it's just, random pick of the people. Like probably some people from younger generation can do it too.
You're in Shanghai, right? Or you're in Beijing? You're in
No, I was in Tianjin.
Tianjin. Yeah, still big cities though.
Yeah. Like I was in Shanghai just for fun, and Beijing, like it's near Tianjin.
Right.
So you can use like this high-speed railway, and 1 hour you're gonna be in Beijing. So I spent lots of time there. But actually, I was in Beijing much more than in Tianjin. Because like when you work, yeah, you go to the office, you work, and then you go home, like do your daily business. But during the weekends, I usually went to Beijing to explore the city because I felt like that it's much more interesting than Tianjin,
I mean,
I guess.
they have different style. Every city has its own characteristic. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
But when you are living there, do you find any you are not used to compared to Russia or compared to those countries you lived before?
Oh, yeah. There is one thing, sorry, all the Chinese people, I really like you, but not your food. Like the hardest thing for me was the food in China. I just couldn't handle it.
You mean
And
too spicy or
it's too spicy, it's too salty, it's too, everything
too
is
much?
too.
Everything is too much.
If it's sweet, it's like super sweet. If
Right.
it's spicy, it's like super
Super
spicy.
spicy.
Because I don't know, I just used to this, like we normally here don't eat so many spices.
Right. You just
We
like
just
eat the original, right?
original, yeah, like all our recipes are kind of like more natural, I would say. And I'm just used to this. So it's too fatty there, too spicy. It was just too much. But there are some some dishes which I really love in China, in Taiwan too.
What motivates you to learn Chinese? Because like, it's actually a completely different language.
I just like how Chinese sounds. And I like the culture.
Right.
And I feel that, like, I don't know, it's just interesting. And also, when something that you do and you start doing it well, you feel like, oh my God, I should move on. Lots of people speak English, but not lots of foreigners speak good Chinese.
Right.
Like, yeah, many people can say ni hao, but
yeah, after ni hao, that's the challenge,
after
right?
ni hao, yeah, like I like that I still can do this. So it's kind of a challenge. But the only thing that I don't like is like to write the characters, just because nowadays we use phone. So I just type using the phone or the laptop, and I don't really write in my own language, so my handwriting is getting worse and worse.
I know, right? I feel the same. Have you ever learned the traditional Chinese?
It's so hard. When I was in Panjia University,
The university
like,
in Taiwan.
we had this course of traditional Chinese.
Right.
It was much harder. There is no big challenge for me right now. Like, I understand in Taiwan, they have different stuff, but in simplified Chinese, they have only like 3-4 lines.
Yeah.
So I understand, but it's hard to write.
And I guess that's the reason why some of my Chinese friends, they still using the traditional Chinese, because they think that's like a way to actually respect the entire culture and background, instead of like only apply to the easier way, the simplest way, the fastest way. But where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, or let's say 3 years, make it short, especially at this moment? What are you going to do with it in the future?
I have no idea. Because, I think that nowadays we just cannot plan that much. Even 3 years, it's like still too much. Actually, even in the worst time, you need to try to take something good out of this time.
Right,
so
right.
COVID just learned us that don't plan. Like, lots of people, they just started to die. So you never know what will happen tomorrow.
Right.
Like, not speaking about 3 years later. So what I want to do is to develop like myself, if I can say so, study, work, live my best life.
But all kinds of activities is still operating in Russia right now at night?
Yeah.
Normal?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's normal. It's fine. Everything is working. The nightlife in Moscow is just wild, I would say. But people are still clubbing. People are still going somewhere because, when something very critical is happening in the world,
Current situation.
you need to continue living your life. You need to do the things that you're used to do. And I still have to go to work. I still have to do my job. I still have to leave. And then I just saw the psychological article, and it was said that you need to continue living. That's it.
I mean, even the people in Ukraine as well, right? Like they see, somebody actually died or somewhat, but they have to keep moving on. You cannot just sit there and cry. You still have to figure it out. So it's difficult for the people who are suffering, but it's also difficult for citizens who are also suffering in Russia.
Most of people do this, but they still continue judging. I will not speak about Ukrainian people at all. Let me not do this. But as for Russians, I can say okay, not as for Russians, as for me personally, I can say I want to continue my life, because you don't know what will happen later, and you just need to keep moving.
Right.
That's it.
But to be honest, this is challenging since you are located in Russia. If you are somewhere out in the world, you can run away from any threats, and that probably is just gonna easier for you. But it's difficult anyway. Same as the person in China, I believe.
Yeah.
If they want to speak of something, they have to in some sort of a safer channel instead of just publicly speak it out. That won't be smart. That won't be too smart.
It won't be too smart. People are always suffering in the world.
Like Afghanistan.
Or
Lebanon. Yeah.
It was a big explosion there.
Right.
I am not sure how to pronounce the name of the country, Palestine.
Palestine, yeah. Yeah, Palestine.
Something bad happens always. And I think what my point is that you should stay a person, people should stay people.
I just want to add one point. If you look at the history, everyone is actually from Africa, right? Every human being is from Africa. We come from chimpanzees, so actually we're all the same. But why are we spreading so much hate between you are different nations, or you are people from the other side? You have different point of view than mine, so you are the enemy. No, we don't do that. Why the hell you want to do that? Interest.
That's the thing I always say. People need to learn one thing. If I have a different point of view, it doesn't mean that I hate you.
Right.
And lots of people have this saying okay, I like red and you like yellow, so you're stupid, and you hate me, I hate you. You
can disagree others, but you can still be kind. You can say, I don't agree what you're saying, I disagree, but I still respect you as a person. I still respect where you come from. And that's the reason I believe this has to be spread out into the entire podcast. And that's the vision I'm having for it. It's not, we're just going to be politically correct. We want to make sure everybody express where they come from, the truth experiences, not the polished media experiences. And it actually builds critical thinking, right? This is how you build critical thinking. And this is also how you build respectfulness for other human beings.
It happens anyway, unfortunately, but I try not to judge the politicians, because I'm not the politician. I don't know how it's happening there. You never know. Why do they do this? How do they do this? And what actually is happening? You never know. Because people like exaggerating things. People like lying.
Yeah.
People like gossiping. And you can't really believe the person next to you sometimes. So I just think that, okay, I can share my experience from my point of view, but don't think that's the only true thing.
Right. But anyway, some lighter topic, let's say. What about the nightlife when you were in China, when you were there, or maybe in Taiwan though?
Wild as in Moscow, I say. There are lots of different clubs and restaurants in China and in Taiwan. And you just go out and you see lots of people are drinking, dancing, having fun. Yeah, we also went some clubbing there. But the clubs are different. The restaurants are different. For example, when I studied in Dalian.
Dalian, yeah.
Okay. The city in which I lived, it's full of foreign people, because people go there to study and all of that. And there were some clubs for only Chinese people. Music was different, food was different, drinks were different. The club itself was different. You could go there. Like, you as a foreigner can go there. That's fine, but you just feel weird. Because,
You
like,
don't fit into that.
yeah, like, it's not something that you're used to, you know?
Is it because it's the older generation stuff, or it's not?
No, there were many young people, but they had this kind of like techno music.
Uh-huh.
And it was a bit different from something that foreigners are used to. So we didn't really go there. We went to the clubs where it was a mix of cultures, mix of nations. There were Chinese and people from Russia and people from Europe, from Africa, from America.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere. Like, you could literally see everyone there. It was much different. Like,
Have you came across like some, random guys like Chinese talk to you or try to pick
oh
up?
my gosh, there was such a weird situation when exactly I was in Dalian. I'm a smoker. I
Right.
smoked cigarettes that time, so I was in some kind of bar with my friends, and we were sitting and drinking beer and smoking.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, one guy just came to me. He was Chinese. Like, let me use this one.
Right. Okay.
So I'm like that. He just comes, grabs my cigarette, starts smoking my cigarette, which I am smoking. And I'm just staring at him like, why are you doing that?
What
And
the fuck?
he was, I don't know, I think he was completely wasted or
Oh,
something.
so he's drunk.
And he was just like smoking and then giving it back. What the hell
fuck?
was that?
Okay.
And
He didn't say
talk
anything.
to me.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. And that was a very weird experience.
I would say probably he's drunk. Like, he doesn't have the intention to actually talk to you. But anyone tried to talk to you in the club or in...
Not only in the club, but there was always a problem with understanding because I was in the process of learning Chinese. I'm still in the process, but now I can respond you, you know?
Right.
I can say something and talk and everything will be nice. But then I was too afraid of speaking, and they were too afraid of speaking to me. So we tried to use English, but their English was not very good, and my Chinese was not very good, and it was very awkward.
Right.
There was actually one guy from my work who tried to like take me out, and he was texting me in English, and I was like, I don't even understand what you're saying. It's really not your thing.
Oh my god. All right. So that's the typical, what do we call it? Your ego is high, but your skill is not matching where you at. So what happened to that colleagues after that?
Nothing. He just stopped talking to me.
Oh no. Because the language barrier.
Because I was really polite.
Right.
And I never said anything bad to him. I responded to him and I was like, okay, we can go somewhere. It's fine. But one day he just stopped texting me because probably he understood that he doesn't get me.
I think when we were in Taiwan, right?
We went to a cafe or restaurant, something like that.
It's called tea shop. You know?
Ah, really?
Oh, you can't remember. Fuck. Okay, never mind. It's a tea. If you are in Taiwan, you know what is this called? It's called 绿盖. It's a green tea that covered with salty cream or salty milk.
Yeah, I remember the taste.
Yeah. I think that was like the only time we actually go out and we talk a little bit. It was kind of awkward, I would say, but it's also pretty fun.
Oh, come on. It was semi-awkward in the beginning, but then you were so charming that I just told you all my life.
Right. I'm like chill, like I don't have any expectation. Unlike a lot of the dudes, they approach to females with a bunch of expectation, and that will make everything very awkward. Do you find any differences when it comes to dating or online dating when you are in a different country, or especially when you're in China or when you're in Russia? This could be fun to discuss, right?
Oh, yeah. I know lots of people find online dating apps very nice, and they actually find their future husbands and wives there.
Right.
Lots of people use these apps just to hook up, and it's also fine if they want to do this.
Right.
But
100%.
as for me, I just had very bad experience. always. For example, when I tried to find a boyfriend, I always found this man who like, yeah, let's talk. You're very interesting. You're a very smart girl. I want to lick your pussy. It's not the first thing that you say to a woman, you know.
Yeah, it's not where to start the conversation. No.
Like, no,
Be
not the
polite,
first,
gentlemen. Jesus.
not the first 15 minutes of talk, please.
Right.
You know?
When it turns
So-
to 60 minutes, right? You could do it.
Depends on the woman.
Right.
It was always like that. When I was in China, it was hard to find Chinese friends because of my level of Chinese. It's not deep enough to have deep conversations. Like I'm working on it right now, but anyway, it takes time. So that time it was enough to work, it was enough to study, but it wasn't enough to have this relationship.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I just tried to use Tinder in order to find people who can speak English or Russian,
Right.
just to talk to someone. So I met one guy from the US and he was nice. We were speaking using the Tinder app, and then we were like, okay, let's meet, let's have a drink together. And yeah, it's fine. So when we met, things started getting very awkward.
So now it's not about language, it's about something else. Tell me.
It's about something else. Like, you know, we're speaking now. Like, I feel good. I feel fine. I
Right.
feel free to speak. Yeah, like I'm comfortable with you and everything is nice. There was completely different situation.
What was it like? Is it a complete silence? Or it's like he's talking too much that you don't have the chance to talk?
It's like 3 p.m. So kind of daytime.
Mm-hmm.
The waiter came and he was like, what are you going to order? And the guy was like, I'm going to order gin tonic. And I was like, okay. Are you going to eat? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay.
Wait. So you say you want to eat, but he said no.
Yeah, like I just asked him and it was weird if he didn't eat and I eat, you know? Probably it's a girly stuff, but I just feel like
The German girl will be like, I'm gonna eat. I don't give a shit. This is German girl's attitude.
probably they're right, you know, but I was like, okay, I will also drink. So it was first glass, and then he started, like, he lives in China. He works with Chinese people,
Right.
and he started talking shit about China, about Chinese, that all Chinese suck and everything is bad in China.
Oh, is it like a plot twist to hate on Americans? I have to justify that I don't play this shit. This is come from her.
No,
I'm joking.
it was just like that.
All right.
You know, the problem was not about his being American.
I know.
It was that he's being a jerk.
So he keeps talking shit about Chinese people, and then what happened?
It was weird because I felt weird. First of all, like it's not the way how to
Start with the date, first date?
yeah. It's the first thing. Second thing is like you live in this country, you get the money from them, you like eat here, talk to people here, I don't know, sleep here.
Right.
So stop doing that. Have some respect. It's always something that you will not like in your country. It doesn't matter, China or something else. But be respectful, at least a bit. I felt awkward and there was a silence. And then he was like, second glass. And after the third glass, I was like, okay, I need to go home. Time is up.
Yeah.
It was too weird. And I know that it's different in European countries, but here in Russia, we not normally, but usually most of people do this. Like girls are girls, men are men. If I am the girl and I'm next to my man, I expect him to pay for the date.
Right.
We can like share some different things, but if it's a date,
Made to pay.
yeah, something like that. But I don't do it with my friends or with a man I don't want to be with. But if I want to be with you, I expect that you at least try to do this.
Yeah, to show the intention.
You at least show this. But this time I was like, no way. And I was like, okay, I will pay the whole check. Like for me and for him.
What the hell? Okay.
And for Russian women, it's totally not normal situation. We didn't used to do this.
Right. Culture differences, right?
Yeah. And I was like, I will pay so he will understand that I don't want to.
You have zero interest.
Exactly. And so he doesn't feel that I use him for free drinks or something. So I was like, it's going to be on me. And he was like, okay, want to come to my place?
No, like, this is not how it works.
Yeah. So the whole conversation was very weird. And he said very bad things about the country we were in.
The frequencies of you two are not connected. And it's more or less like he's talking his own stuff. You are just there for whatever reason and you want to get out of it.
Anyway, he still was like, let's go to my place. Netflix, chill, wine. And I was like, really? You're really?
Really? Well, have you ever dated with any Chinese guy or any Asian guys before?
I don't know if we can say that we dated, actually nothing serious. But when I was in China and I had this period when I was alone. So there was a guy from China originally, but he lived in Canada for almost whole his life. So
sounds like a love scammer to me, but okay, keep going.
So he was in Canada, but he swiped right on me on Tinder.
Right.
And I was like, what the hell, where are you? And he was like, I'm in Canada, but I'm going to be in Beijing in a month. I was like, oh, okay. We started talking and everything was so nice. But like, you know, my heart starts getting warmer.
Right.
He's just such a nice guy, smart, interesting, really good one. And then he finally came to Beijing and we met each other. It was so natural and nice that we were together there. After that, I actually behaved really bad because I understood that I will never see him again in my life because he will go back to Canada. After some time, I will go back to Russia and we will probably never meet each other again.
Right.
I understand that long distance relationship is not good for me. And I just stopped talking to him. I feel guilty.
Wait. But he is not local Chinese, right?
He was born and raised in China, but he went to study to Canada.
I feel like everybody made mistake whatsoever in whatever kind of relationship. They have to develop their own skills by time. So what happened to this guy?
He just unfollowed me everywhere after I ghosted him, and that's it. I still hope that he's fine.
For some people, long-distance relationship just doesn't work. Not everybody believes in that, only probably Disney movie. But I would say ghosted is kind of a bitch move, right? It's your personal issue. You probably should have, sorted out. Like,
exactly.
Hey, I think this is not going to work, so you can still be friends, but yeah.
I understood that I just didn't have enough balls to say, to say no.
Well, I mean, people always make mistakes, I would say. All right, I guess we are running out of the time today. This is the 5th episode of our podcast. If you enjoy our conversation, if you really like what we have been discussed and talk about, please share or leave a like on our YouTube channel or subscribe to our podcast. It's on Google Podcasts, it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcasts. Pick whatever you like. I'll see you next time. Have a great one.